WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have an Aberlour 18. It's called the Double Sherry Cask Finish, batch number 1, and we have Whiskybase number 215645. Now we're running at a price of about 119 euros. All right, so this is no longer the 0.5 liter bottle. It is the 0.7, as you can see. It's dark as the night, and it is natural color. So what we have here is American and European oak cask at the beginning, and then we receive a finish in first fill Pedro Ximénez, PX, and Oloroso sherry casks. Now, I would have loved to have known or to know how many months or years the finish was. No one says anything. This is 43%. Shame on them. It should be 46. But hey, 43 is better than 40. And this is something that is, we have a couple tasting notes here. And we can talk a little bit about that in a moment. This is Speyside Single Malt Whiskey. Now, 2019, I think it was, that Aberlour, that means the parent company, which is Pernod Ricard, actually applied for a building permit, and they withdrew that after there was a little bit of criticism, and then 2022 they reapplied, and it's been actually now approved. So they're going to basically almost double the capacity of the distillery. At the moment they have 2 pairs of still. They're going to have then in the future 4 pairs of still. At the moment, I think they have like 16 washbacks that are planned in total. And I knew when I was there, I was in the spring of 2019. They said we're running 24/7, 50 weeks a year. 2 weeks was minimal maintenance, but other than that, 24/7 the entire year. And they're making up to look at my book again here. 3.2 is what I have in my brain. So we have Aberlour. Aberlour is making up to 3.8. So 3.7 million liters is the absolute capacity maximum. Now, 43%. 119 euros. Now, we know, at least I know, that I often calculate the price of whiskey of 10 euros per year in the cask. So an 18-year-old whiskey can sometimes cost upwards of 180 euros. So what whiskey do I have that is 180 euros? I have 178 euros here at the moment in Germany for the Glendronach 18. This is my comparison whiskey. Is it fair? Well, this is 46%. This is 43%. This is exclusively matured in Oloroso. This was finished in Oloroso and Pedro Ximénez casks. So I could have taken the 15, which would have been a little bit more towards the same price category. But I thought I would purposely take the 18-year-old and also ask the question, what is your favorite 18-year-old Scotch? Now, I did not say single malt. I said Scotch. So when I think of my favorite 18-year-old Scotch, I think of Chivas Regal 18. I know when I started on my journey with whiskey, I actually have, I think I bought 3, 4, 5 bottles of that over the last 7 years. I love the taste of Chivas Regal 18. I try it and I have a little bit of the grain. I like grain. And towards the end, I get this dark, rich, old moment that actually kicks in the finish where it's so good. And over here in Germany at the moment, under 60 euros for an 18-year-old whiskey. So you have to pay twice as much to get the Aberlour 18. Now, that is double cask matured and sherry and has a totally different color scheme. Or you have to pay 3 times as much for the Glendronach 18, which is at 178 euros. Now, if I look at the colors here, I will see that actually the Aberlour has the nose a little bit ahead of the Glendronach. It's a tad bit darker. Were there wet casks involved? Is it just perfectly natural? Now, it does say here natural color, which I really, really enjoy, and I think that's great. Nowhere does it say natural, non-chilled filtered. Here I have an older bottle, 2019, and it says non-chilled filtered and natural color here by my Glendronach 18. That was right before Brown-Forman changed some things there. Now let's try this. I know this is smooth as silk, and the question is that what we want? Cheers. Mm. Mm. Now, it's very interesting that the 43% still catch you a little bit. It's not hot, but it supports the entire movement here. There's a complex sweetness, sherry sweetness. On the nose, you do get a little bit of that raisin moment, a little bit of the orange peel, a little bit of a toffee, dark chocolate, a little bit of plum, a little bit of fruitiness from the cranberries, or maybe even from the currants here. From the nose, what I get in the taste is a dark chocolatey moment. A tiny, tiny little bit of licorice is going on there, and I get a beautiful allspice moment. Um, that's good. That's really, excuse me for saying it, easy sipping, good whiskey. This is a B plus whiskey. B plus, great stuff. I really like this. This is something I could really just sit down with, enjoy, dissect a little bit, put a little bit of water in there, see if it breaks. I hope not. Let's do this. Let's put a little bit of water in here. Let's see if it breaks. Taking it down to about 40% and seeing if it's okay. The initial maturation was in the American, the European oak casks, and then the finish. How long? Tell us. Tell us how long the finish was. I get a little bit more of the orange peel, a little bit of the sweetness kicks in with water. Mm. Mm. It has the weakness at the beginning, water down to 40, maybe even 38%, but it does have an interesting, long, lingering flavor profile that I thoroughly enjoy. Very, very nice. The Pedro Ximénez is a little bit more the raisiny moment than the Oloroso. They're not 100% perfectly balanced, but it is a very cohesive product here where it just actually harmonizes with everything that goes on. If I didn't have something to compare it with, I get a little bit of dark chocolate at the end, a little bit of pipe tobacco, a little bit of a nice berry, plum, raspberry moment going on here. This is actually a very, very nice whiskey. As I said, B plus. But then I can say, okay, but I have a whiskey which costs almost 60 euros more, the Glendronach 18, and I smell it and go, oh yeah, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. I get the dark, rich, chocolatey, oaky moments on the nose, fruitiness, more complexity. Cheers. A minus. Oh, as we could when we could buy these things for like 65, 70, even 80 euros back then, 3 years ago, 4 years ago max. I should have not just bought a case, I should have bought cases of these. This is just absolutely fantastic. This is an A minus whiskey. Is it a value for money at the moment with 180 euros? No. This is not something I'm going to reach towards and say, hey, I'm going to try this again and again and again. It's just way too much money for a bottle of whiskey. Personal opinion. Now, the 119 euros is at that threshold where I go 80 euros hurts, 100 euros, awa, but, and then I can try this and I go, oh, that is good. So I'm going to give this whiskey a C for value for money. Oops, poured a little bit more and I like it. All right, so this is a C value for money. And that's my question. What other bottles? I talked about the Chivas Ligo. I think the cheapest 18-year-old whiskey I can find at the moment. I talked about the standard 180 euros for this, and I talked about 120, 119 for this. What are you willing to pay? Think Glenfarclas. Think, what else do we have for 18-year-old product? Macallan 18, ouch. Springbank 18, ouch, ouch, ouch. There aren't that many 18-year-old whiskeys out there at the moment that we can actually go for and just enjoy and to experience here. So I'm going to go to whiskey, I'm going to type in the word 18, and I'm going to see what's left here as answers. So we have Linkwood. No, that's not 15. I need an 18-year-old whiskey here. So picked that. No, it didn't really help me with 18 here. Okay, we have a Glenfiddich 18, 170 euros. I have a Balmenach Old Particular 18 for 140 euros. So it's difficult to find a whiskey for 18 years of age at the moment for an adequate price, to be honest. Bowmore 18. I remember when it was 40 some euros. It's 98. That just hurts. The Highland Park 18. Remember when it was 85? It's now 138 over here. Coile 18, 150 euros. Bunnahabhain 18, 188 euros. Taliska 18. Oh, we can really complain about that one. It used to be 80, now it's 170 euros. Knock Can Do, 18 years old and still 60 euros. I've tried that. It's not worth the 60 euros. They used very, very poor casks on that. It did not have the flavor profile that I would actually go back to. Glenfiddich 18, over here at least our small batch 18, 80 euros. Very interesting. All right, so we do have a few things out here with 18 years of age that we can look at. Glengoyne 18, 130 euros. Speyburn 18, 90 euros. Oh, I might have to try that. So what is your favorite 18-year-old whiskey, and what are you willing to pay for 18-year-old products? That is the question of the day. So I'm going to enjoy one last sip. Depth, complexity, a little bit more of a personality. This is easy sipping, and this is just enjoyable and very, very nice. All right. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and telling others. I can highly recommend it. B+, and a C, actually, for value for money for the 18-year-old. What else can you instead recommend that people should try? See you soon. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.